Good afternoon, guys. It's your baby boomer Kittee Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, and welcome to another Create and Relate. So this is only my second attempt today at this. So we're going to try to make this one work. Yes. First of all, I would like to thank my new subscribers and the comments. You guys, I appreciate you so much. I only got 2 comments this time, and you would have thought I had 22. I was absolutely happy about that. And I'm not sure I responded to both physically, but for me to acknowledge, Pat, thank you. I'm not sure if I responded to you or not. Ben, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I did read your comments. And when I got back from the doctor's office, first of all, forgive the froggy. I not too long got back from the doctor's office. Excuse me, and I don't know what it is about going to the doctor. When I get home, I have to have a nap. It was not a bad visit. It was actually a very good visit. I am so tickled. I did not weigh at home because I knew that I was going to weigh there. So I am still on the downward slope. According to the doctor's scale, I am down to 334.5. So that is the weight that I will be documenting. I have not got on the scale at home. Y'all, I haven't even had a cup of coffee. So, yeah, until I get all of that done. And as a matter of fact, and honestly, another reason I didn't weigh is because I get a ride to my doctor's office. Even though I take my scooter, I can ride my scooter there. I don't want to get out there and have a heat stroke. I'd rather ride in the winter than in the summer for 2 reasons. I get hot very easily, and like I said, I don't want to get out there and have a heat incident, heat stroke, heat exhaustion, sunburn, none of it. I don't want to go through that. That wouldn't be too pleasant. The other reason is there's less traffic on the road in the winter than there is in the summer. And my past 2 experiences of riding on my scooter, next to the last time, I almost got hit on the way to the store, which is right next door. And the second incident yesterday, I almost got hit coming home. Yeah, not yesterday, day before yesterday. But I almost got hit coming home. And it's because as I was turning into my apartment complex, there was a lady turning out, and there are a few people who live out here who fly through here. The posted speed limit is 10. I think they hit 10 when they put their foot on the gas. I do. And it's basically the younger crowd, the cocky ones who feel like they drive better than anybody else. They, look better than anybody else. And, I'm not taking away anybody's driving skills or anything, but a lot of these are parents. And even though their kids are in school, it doesn't mean other kids aren't. Even though their mother doesn't live with them, they live, across the water or another part of town. My daughter's mother does live here. Okay. So, yeah. I'm just wishing that they would be a little more thoughtful and a little more careful. Okay, we covered the weight. Okay, so you can see I'm not working on teal and watermelon today. However, I will be getting to it later, and because of the teal and watermelon and the fact that I'm doing the moss stitch with that one, I surpassed my goal yesterday of 7,500 stitches. I actually got 8,016 stitches, so I was 516 over, and I'm just as happy of that 516 as I would have been with just 16. A plus is a plus, a win is a win, a stitch is a stitch. So I did that. And if I wanted to be legal and technical about it, approximately 2,000 of those stitches. I could have counted twice because I had to frog 20 rows just to realize that I was doing it right anyway. But I made those 20 rows back up plus some. Yes. What? Oh, yeah. So when I got in from the doctor's office today, I did jump on a live with Maureen and Carrie, my crochet story, and I can't get Carrie's. It's froggy. I'm trying, y'all. I'm 60, but I'm trying. I'm still following lives. I appreciate these ladies so much because, and Drea from La Crochet, they're interactive. They're really interactive, and it kind of makes you feel good when, you know, you can say something and someone responds, and you don't just kind of get lost in the masses or feel like you have to donate to be seen. Yeah, but at the same time, those people who can't comment or who don't comment, I look at the number of people they have on their live, and I can understand why. You know, it's actually a lot. You know, but those nice small groups. I'm sorry. Please excuse me. Those nice small groups are really great. I continue to jump on lives because I'm still learning. I think you've heard me say before, my philosophy is to never say I'm satisfied. I feel like once I say I'm satisfied, I will have reached my plateau and I'll have nothing else to look for. So I'm always pushing to be better because my grandmother taught me as a child, baby, always be the best you can be. Whatever you choose to be in life, give it your all and be the best you can be. If you choose to be a lawyer, you go to the best law schools, you read as many law books as you can, you take on as many cases as you can, and try to be better and better with each case that you take on. It's not all about the wins and losses. It's about you being the best that you can do and giving it your all. If you choose to be a doctor, say, lawyer, doctor. Yeah, there were 3 that she told me because you're going to love the last one. If you choose to be a doctor, whatever kind of doctor you choose to be, you make sure that when you step into that office, when you step into that room with that patient, that you give them the best service that you can absolutely give them. If you choose to be a floozy, for y'all that don't know what a floozy is, look it up. But if you choose to be a floozy, you get you the best nylons, you get you the shortest dress, and you wear the reddest lipsticks, and you get lipstick, and you get out there and you work it, baby. When I got old enough to understand what a floozy was, I was like, ooh. My grandma, ooh. But I understood what she was saying, and I have lived with that in me. This that we're doing is not a competition. Each one of us has something to offer that's unique and special about us. It's no need for any of us to think that we're better than. I follow those who have 2 or 3 subscribers, as well as I follow those who have millions of subscribers, because I get something from everybody, and it helps me to make a better me. So don't think I'm biting anybody, and don't think that I'm trying to outshine anybody. I'm just trying to be the best me. I want to give my audience the best content that I can give them. That's the place that I come from, because I love all of y'all. I do. I think all of you are great. There are some that I watch more than others, but I happened across a lady who basically made, I think her name is Marlene, if I'm not, is it Marlene or I'll have to go back and look up her name, but she makes dolls. She's not on often. When she does get on, she's on for hours. And I'll sit here for hours and watch and nap, but I love not only seeing her dolls, but listening to her process through everything. The decision to make the doll, what the doll means to her. And I'm like, wow, that's passion. But it reminded me of the fact that I wanted to name my shawls. And I got the idea of naming my shawls from back a day. And I'm like, you know what? That is an awesome idea. But my nephew and the lady who makes the dolls made me appreciate the value of each piece that I work on, from the largest blanket down to a scrunchie or a crocheted friendship bracelet. It doesn't matter. Each piece, I'm putting a piece of me into, so I should feel deep and passionate about it. Because a little bit of my soul is going into this, y'all. Yes, I'm putting these fingers to work. I'm putting this mind to work. Yes, and I'm letting my butt get numb sitting in this chair. But yes, this is Behold. The whole slogan is Behold the Green and Gold. And that is a bite from, it is the slogan of the Norfolk State University Trojans. I did not want to call my scarf a Trojan, even though I think in my past life I was a warrior at one point. I just don't know from what era. But I do think that I was a warrior with a sword. When I get a sword in my hand, it feels natural. It does. And it's not necessarily to hurt people. It's like, it's just like I know what to do with it. I know how to maneuver it. There are things that I have, or poses or positions that I've done with swords that don't look natural, but they feel natural. Nothing vulgar. It's just like a different stance or a different maneuverability that I have. It's a connection that I have with the sword that is not normal. Like I said, it's not vulgar or anything, but it feels comfortable. It's like I've done it before. There are, and it's more than deja vu. It feels like I have literally done this before. I don't know if I was a man or a woman in my past life. It really doesn't matter. I am who I am now. And this is who you are seeing now. And this is Kittee. I'm going to go off the track for a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Kittee. So, I was born Catherine Teresa Lane Hodges II, named after my grandmother. And for the first part of my life, I would have to say the first 5 years, I really thought my name was Baby, because everybody called me Baby. Everybody referred to me as Baby. Friends, neighbors, family, I was Baby. So when my mother came to North Carolina, my grandparents did the first part of my rearing up until the summer before I turned 4, the end of the summer before I turned 4. I don't like to say 3 for some reason. I put it closer to where it is. My mother came to North Carolina, Wilson, and brought me back to Portsmouth, Virginia. And my mother would call me Kathy. Well, it was only me and my mom, so when my mom said Kathy and knowing there was nobody else in the house, I assumed she was talking to me. So we went with that. I started school. Well, the first school I went to was a nursery school in Suffolk, and a young lady that I just talked to on the phone yesterday, we were talking about how far back we go and the fact we need to keep in contact with each other a lot better. But Darnessa, she and I were together in nursery school, y'all. The nursery school was downstairs. People lived upstairs, and they had chickens. And I stayed on punishment a lot. I did. I wasn't a bad child. I'm hyperactive. And I was also a child prodigy. So being very smart and not being able to sit still kept me in trouble. I didn't know when to shut up. I didn't. I had no idea that everything that came to mind didn't need to come out of my mouth. Still have trouble with that sometimes. So when I was on punishment, I had to go upstairs and sit in the kitchen on this tall ladder stool. I don't know if y'all remember those, but it was just a regular seated chair with a back, and under that chair that folded in and folded out was 2 steps. So it was like a step stool chair. I am so desperately looking for one of those on Amazon, Temu, Shein, all the rest of them. I would want another one of those. I love those. But anyway, the lady, and I have to separate them, but the lighter lady, the fairer lady, and I think her name was Jordan. I think it was Jordan's nursery school, was our instructor. She had an aide, but I don't remember her name. I really don't even remember what she looked like. There was another lady there that we were all afraid of. She was a lot rough around the edges. She was a darker lady. I think her hair was short. And she always, all these ladies always wore dresses. But this lady reminded me of Carolina. She had the long dress with the apron on the outside. Looked like a pilgrim. But she looked like, what's the lady's name from the Wild Wild West? Jane. It'll come to me. Calamity Jane. Yeah, that's who she looked like. But it seemed like every time I had to go sit on the punishment stool, it was time to prepare a chicken for dinner. Every way you can grab a live chicken and unlive it, I think I saw that lady do. Scared me to death. Every time that woman came around me, I was like, I just imagined her grabbing my hand and whipping my hand like she did those chickens and my hand coming off. I wouldn't let my head get close enough to it. That won't gonna happen. But this was in Suffolk, Virginia, and still there I was called baby. So I finally get to Portsmouth and I'm going to transfer to Davis. I don't know what she called her little supposed to be school, but she was a preacher's wife, and these people were very unholy. They were very unholy. I didn't care for that lady at all. I didn't. So I was basically quiet into myself. The trouble that I got in there was the fact that I wouldn't mingle with the other kids. Portsmouth was different than Suffolk. Portsmouth was scary. The people of Portsmouth would threaten you rather than speak to you. I didn't know these kids like that. They didn't know me. I felt I could protect myself, but I am not one who would, just jump right up and go into that mode. So finally went to school. Started school early, first grade at the age of 5, and When Miss Southall, my first teacher, asked us to write our names, I wrote baby. She said, no, you have another name. It's a much longer name. You have a first name and 2 middle names and a last name. Or a first name, a middle name, and 2 last names. That's the name I need you to write. Okay, this lady said I have 4 names. I know the difference between the alphabet and a name, but I don't know what she's looking for. So on the first line I wrote B, on the second line I wrote A, on the third line I wrote B, and on the last line I wrote Y. Baby. She said, okay, what does your family call you? What name do they call you? Baby. I don't know what you're not understanding. So Miss Alhall called my mom and told her that I did not know my name. She didn't think I was ready for first grade yet. She said everything else she knows. She reads very well. Math, she's a whiz, and she knows so much about science. Her sentence structure is pristine. Everything. But she doesn't know her name. My mom said, don't worry about it, she'll have it tomorrow. My mother told me my name. She wrote it down on a piece of paper, let me look at it, let me study it for 5 minutes, took the paper away from me. She said, now write your name. CATHERINETERESALANEHODGES, comma, Roman number 1, Roman number 1. From that day forth, I knew that my name was Catherine Teresa Lane Hodges II. Yes. But my family would call me Kathy. And I was very satisfied with that until I grew older and started realizing that people were calling me Catherine. And for some reason that used to rub me wrong. Then my mother started giving me another philosophy that I go through in life. You can spell your name XYZ and pronounce it Ann if you want to. That's your name, and people should respect your name. People, my name is not Catherine. My name is Catherine. It is spelled like Catherine. I am not apologizing for those other people who spell their name the same as mine. CATHERINE and pronounce theirs Catherine. There is a way that Catherine is spelled and pronounced. But anybody can spell their name XYZ and pronounce it N if they want to. So for those other people who spell their names CATHERINE, they can call themselves Catherine all day. But that's not my name. My name is Catherine, just like it's spelled. Catherine. There is an E between the H and the R, and there is an E at the end of my name. Trust, there are many ways to spell it. Catherine and Catherine. But my name is Catherine, not Catherine, not Catherine, not Caterine. My name is Catherine. So with that, I wanted a nickname. I wasn't satisfied with Kathy. You could spell Kathy too many ways. With a K, with an I at the end. There were just too many things that you could do with Kathy. And I've always liked being different. So I started calling myself my favorite snack, which was cotton candy. Couldn't just be cotton candy. I had to be lavender cotton candy, which made my nickname initials LCC. So I went by LCC until I was a teenager. And once I got into high school, I carried that with me. Wasn't happy with that either. So then I became Baby Girl. And then the guy who started calling me Baby Girl, I realized he addressed everybody as Baby Girl. You know, and I went with Baby Girl because it took me back to the baby. And of course, I'm a girl. I was a tomboy girl, but I'm a girl. It's a little girly in me some way. So, excuse me, please. We are, and I don't have any water close by. Wouldn't you know it? Not a bottle, not a drop. What? Your girl is way up on point. Ooh, water does the body good. If I'm not mistaken, I filled another bottle up under there. I carry water to bed with me at night, y'all. My throat gets dry. I think I must talk in my sleep or something. So, we're back to the baby girl. I didn't want to be called baby girl. So, I niched that and I stayed with Kathy for a while. Moving all the way up to my first marriage, which happened in 1985. My husband used to tell me I thought I was bad. Because with it just being me and my mother, we had to be strong. We did the bush pulling and dragging it out to the curb, the cutting the limbs and dragging them out to the curb, pushing cars when they broke down. We had to be strong. It was just us. To my husband, I was like a freak in the circus. And he said that my bark was worse than my bite. My meow was worse than my scratch. And rather than call me Cat, he chose to call me Kittee. So I was Kitty. After I had my son, I got 3 jobs. Y'all, I don't think I've ever known how to work less than 1 job at a time. I have totally ruined my body, but the first job I got was at Eagles, and I was the stockroom manager at Eagles. And then they had a restaurant in the same parking lot of that strip mall, Johnson's. And even though I had the only serving experience I had was working at Pizza Inn in North Carolina, and I went there and worked for the Johnsons for 7 months, and always listened to his lies about, I'm going to pay you. 7 months, I got $50. And then I got the job at Burger King. Well, I had worked at Burger King before, like when I first came back to Virginia. And the assistant manager from the first store was now the assistant manager at this store. And I absolutely loved the manager because he understood that I was breastfeeding my baby. And when it came time for me to go relieve the pressure, he would allow me, to go. I did the pumping at work and would take the milk home. And Kevin was very understanding, and I appreciated that so much. But y'all, when they found out that my nickname was Kittee, and Teresa, the assistant manager, knew that I was from North Carolina, they started calling me Kitty Hawk from North Carolina after Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Kept that for years. Then I dropped the from North Carolina part, and I became Kitty Hawk. When I parted from that marriage in 2002, I believe. Yeah, because we were married for 17 years. When that marriage dissolved, I was just Kitty Hawk. I was very much into my poetry then. And I was just Kitty Hawk. And that lasted until I started doing spoken word. And then I embraced the Miss Kittee. Typically don't like Miss, Mr., Ma'am. I really don't. I don't. And I really didn't like Miss Kittee because the jokes came with that. Ha 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 ha. Where's Marshall Dillon? Ha 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 ha. You seen Doc and Festus? Shut thee all the way up. Really? The first couple of times it was cute. But then everybody, and it's like one person does it, the next person hears it. They got to step it up. How immature and childish can y'all be? So, I dropped the Y. and I added 2 E's. And it wasn't enough to just be Kittee, spelled with a double E. I finally, at that point in my life, I left my second husband in 2009. I gained my independence then. Every negative thing that all these guys had ever said about me and the negative ways that they treated me, I let all of that stay back there with them. I embraced the fact that, yeah, I'm a big girl, but I am sexy. Sexy is not just a look. Sexy is an attitude. I am very diva-side. I may not wear makeup. I may not wear all the... Sexy is an attitude. It is. When I wake up in the morning and I can put a smile on my face and I see these cheekbones rise and I see these beautiful brown eyes and this drop-dead gorgeous smile, yes, I am sexy. I may not be able to walk with a sway in my hips anymore, but I can walk. I can stand up. And I can stand tall. All 5 feet 3 inches of me can stand tall. And I care about me. You're not going to catch me out there smelling funny or funky. It's not going to work. All of this is taken care of on a daily, several times a day, whether it's needed or not. But just because I want to always be the best that I can be. So yes, I became Sexy Kittee. SEXEEKITTEE. And I went to a family reunion after publishing my books of poetry, 4 of them. Erotic Adventures in Kittyville by Sexy Kittee. Erotic Adventures by Candlelight by Sexy Kittee. 2014 Random Thoughts of Sexy Kittee by Catherine T.L. Hodges. 2015 Random Thoughts of Sexy Kittee by T.L. Hodges. So when I went to the family reunion, we were talking about the accomplishments that we had made. And my preacher cousin refuses reading everybody else's accomplishments, but he refused to read mine because erotic was in the title and sexy was in my name. Y'all, I wrote a whole poem to my family. And I reminded them that I remembered when I was a little girl, all those holier than thou people now were the ones that had the brown paper bags in their hand, guarding the cooler filled with beer, and would cuss worse than sailors. You know, so don't ostracize me because I'm going through my life's journey. Nobody stopped you from going through yours. Nobody shut you down. That was a personal communication or a personal relationship between you and God. And nobody got in between that. So don't step between mine. Let me take that. If I'm 39, 40 years old and I'm not here, you can talk about me when I'm gone. But trust me, y'all, you just don't know. I've had a personal relationship with my father upstairs for as long as I can remember, because he has been the only father that I have known. Woo! I am so sorry. This was not supposed to go here. But I never knew my father. But I have always known God. So I don't think anybody out here has the right to judge me. I don't judge anybody else, and they can't judge me. Not even my family. And they are so good at it. And I still love them. Each and every one of them. Okay. So now you know how I got to be Kittee. I did drop the sexy and save that only for my poetry. I even went through a name change. Yeah, I became 12 Keys. It was at a different point in my life, and I am a big Alicia Keys fan. And right after I wrote my first novel, Jordan's River, all of my books are on Amazon, by the way, but it's Jordan's River by Catherine T.L. Hodges. My boss was so impressed with it. She was like, girl, the way you stroke those keys is just something. And the very first person that came to mind was Alicia Keys and her playing the piano. And I could not just take her name. So I started thinking about all the things that I do. You know, I crochet, and in order, I crochet and I write. I crochet, I write poetry, I write short stories, I write children's books. I write in my journal. Just wrote a novel, so I became a published author. I'm a motivational speaker. I was a front desk clerk. Received all kinds of accolades for customer service. You know, there was so, and a mother. Had just become a grandma. I think I had just become a grandmother for the second time by the time we made that change. But at any rate, it ended up being 12 things, and I was like, 12. And I was born in December. So what about 12 keys? And that stuck for maybe a year. And I went back to the one that made me feel more like me, Sexy Kittee. So now that you have the history behind my name, this is me, Kittee, Kittee, because I am just too sexy. But yes, back to Trojan. No, well, I don't want to call it Trojan. Back to Behold. Came from Norfolk State's motto, which is Behold the Green and Gold. And this is Behold. I have shown you too many times Virginia Peach. Virginia Peach Virginia Peach, Bumpy Rose, Speed Trap, Rainbow Mermaid. And it's probably Rainbow Mermaid. I think it's going to become Rainbow Princess because we call her Princess, my granddaughter. I think you saw both of them, if I'm not mistaken. I have not decided what I'm naming the teal and watermelon. It's going to be something beachy or ocean related. It just reminds me of strolling sand between my toes, but it's got to have like white and a hint of tan in it for me to say something about sand in my mind. I was thinking about a day at the beach. That's just too much for me. And then I was thinking about ice creams, you know, but I don't want to say anything as plain as candy or strawberry or, you know, watermelon. I want to say something snazzy, something catchy. So I'll think about it and I'll work it out. I haven't thought of the name of the pink and green one yet. There's a lot that I haven't thought about, but I'm going to write them down, get them named, get them finished, and hopefully when I come back a little later on this evening or tomorrow, I will have at least stuck to a name for at least one of them. Y'all, it is the 8th of July. It is the 8th in full effect. Thank God it's not as hot as it was yesterday, because the little short while I was out there this morning, it was hot. And for people to say, "Ooh, but it's not as hot as it was yesterday," I'm glad I didn't go out in it yesterday. Why? Because I'm sexy. So yes, you all go about your day and continue to crochet. Once again, I would like to thank my subscribers, and I encourage everyone, please go tell a friend. Get everybody in here. Let's all talk about it. Let's all work on it and get it done. Yes. I will be crocheting later. Next time I come up here, I will be putting some hooks in and around some yarn, making things happen. Absolutely. Like I said, please tell a friend. Get everybody in here. Let's do this together. And then subscribe. Like the videos. Comment. And please share. I have posed a question that I will be getting to in the next few weeks, at the last week in July. And that is, for whatever reason that you find yourself not in the workforce at this point in your life, and you once were, how has that affected you? Psychologically, physically, emotionally? What have there been any changes for you? Has it been worse or better? Yeah, let's talk about it and see if we can be help to those who need help, or encouragement for those who need encouragement, or just a spark for somebody that needs a little boost. So let's get this out here and get it talked about, so we can be the best that we can possibly be. Word. I love you guys, and don't forget, when you walk past that mirror and you see that reflection, don't forget to say to you, I love you. And always remember, from the bottom of your heart to the depths of your soul, that I, Kittee Lane, love you too. Take care, guys. Until later.